everybody.
Yeah, man, big boss. So big boss.
Top.
Yeah, that's a go on.
We are getting more.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz News and Entertainment with a Buzz. The first thing that is popping in the news, there was a song back in the days called Government Boots is Not Your Own, so take them off and put them down. What this means is that when you have the government tool, when you're on the government's job, the JCF job, it is not an idle thing. It is not a joke thing. It is not a social media thing. You are there to serve and protect. Follow all protocols, but like them say, idle dog walk idle monkey. The devil always finds work for idle. So that was a video that was circulating all over social media. And you see the officers involved are entangled in all sorts of idlery. Segue less than 24 hours ago in a Portmore, St. Catherine, an officer on his way home reached home. He was ambushed by a group of men, taken to the hospital, actually rushed, succumbed to his injuries. Condolences to his family, co-workers, and friends. What we find is that a lot of these officers, they are distracted, they are not focused. And I am not saying that that is the case in the officer that unfortunately lost his life, just speaking in general terms. What we find is that most of these officers, they are more concerned about social media, the views, the likes, the clouts. They are actually out here clout chasing, and they have lost focus that they find themselves in a high-risk group in one of the most dangerous places on Master God Earth. I say this to say that you as an officer, going home, you should have your keep and care, meaning to keep your life, if you care about your life, at arm's length, meaning in your lap, meaning it is ready just in case something pops off. You will be at an advantageous situation where you can wheel and pop off and defend yourself or defend others, if needs be. So what we find is that these officers, them so distracted, them so lack focus, them so they in a social media era is that them forget everything that they've learned in the JCF. Them just dash everything out the door. Because here's the thing, don't know the circumstances if this man even had a keep and care. And people, I am sure that if you're in good standings with the JCF, that means that you're not on any sorts of reprimand. You don't have any sorts of association, your name now call up in any sorts of illegal, illicit activity. You should qualify for one. Did not hear in any of the reports that this man, he lost his tool when he was ambushed. More than likely, if somebody is going to ambush you, they are going to check for any sorts of possession, cash, jewelry, tool, anything that is essential or good that can be sold or can be used in future crimes. So people, me don't know if this man involved. I don't have any sorts of evidence to substantiate those claims. But me just say, if you're a poor officer, let this be a warning, learning for you. Do not be caught slipping, because the criminals, they are ready for anything when in case any sorts of eventuality in which they have to defend themselves. A criminal is going home, first thing that he's going to do, he is going to look in at the rear view mirror, make sure that nobody is following him, and when he reaches his yard, he is more than likely going to have that tool in his hand or tuck, easy access to reach, wheel and pop off. Such should be the case as it pertains to the JCF and their officers, if they are very interested in saving their lives or the lives of others. So they should always be mindful that it is a cat and mouse game, good versus evil, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called There Is No Honor Amongst Thieves. As one gangster rise or fall, a next one or a next 100 rise, cannot wait for the opportunity to take his place. I am speaking about a young man, Clive Lawson, known as Greedy in the street, the leader of the Caton Defense Force, top junglist gang in Montego Bay. He was taken out by the JCF special operation a couple of days ago. There was a Voxy Blue, to be specific, with 4 individuals intercepted by the JCF. JCF claims there is some sort of shootout after the smoke cleared. At least 3 of them were found clutching to tools and also trying to clutch to their life. Turkarush, Murrdeath was the case that they gave them. Did not make it. Now when this happened, most people say, yes, a long time we want a piece of ish there for lose him life. Things are going to get better in a Mount Salem, that vicinity. Well, people, guess what? Based on what the experts mean in the JCF are saying, things could get worse instead of better. They are expecting that with this loss of life of these youths, there is going to be internal feud, there is going to be external feud. We can expect all sorts of reprisal repercussion based on his DEATH. They are surmising that other persons are now going to want to be the gang leader, and it is going to cause some sorts of internal feud. They are even surmising that the fact that they lost their leader, they are going to want to take it out on the opposition gang, which would be the Temple gang that operates in the same space. Here are the facts and the background of this youth, Mr. Greedy. On or about January of 2024, in a place called Campbell Lane, it is said that he went in there. There was some sorts of pie outs, and individual was conned up. He was the suspect, one of the suspects in that case. He was arrested. He was given bail. On or about June of that same year, 2024, there was an ex-pie up, and his name was being called. He was arrested. He was a person of interest suspect in that case, wanted for GUN crime. Again, he was out on bail. Fast forward, about October 24th, I think, don't quote me on the date, 2024, it is said that Mr. Greedy and a gang of his accomplices went into a place called Campbell Lane, and then he executed a man known as Donovan Hales in a hail of bullets. Sorry, the first incident in which the man got pie up, that was in Mount Salem, my correction. So the Popo been after this man. They wanted him bad just like the flowers need the rain. They wanted him DEAD. Now, one of the main points of concern that most Jamaicans, including myself, have is that whenever the JCF take out these individuals, gang leaders, gang members, extortionists, there's always one thing that is attached to their name: repeat offender. This is never, or they are never, one-time offender and the police just go for them, and unfortunately, they lost their life controversially. These people have a history, a record, a long sheet of criminality. However, they are always out on bail, not for any sorts of petty crime, for the same old-ish or even worse. So again, it seems as if our judges are in line with these gangsters or are getting paid off by these defense lawyers. It seems as if they are always throwing some sorts of sympathy party at the detriment of society. We have to start checking these judges. We have to start holding these judges responsible, because we see that they are reckless and very irresponsible. Now, when you heard that report and heard that he was taken out along with two of his other cronies, we heard that it was some sorts of pie out. Well, people, I am here to inform you that that information or report is now not probably 100%. Based on what they are saying, he tried to resist arrest. Well, people, here are the cold facts. If you try to resist arrest, it could be in the form of a pie out, so therefore I don't really know the specifics. What I do know is the fact that if you're wanted for a pie up, if you're wanted for murder, if you're wanted for gun crimes and they catch you, whatever you get, that is what you deserve. As a matter of fact, you deserve nothing but the worst, meaning sent to the final destination, and that is the facts in this case. So people, just when we think, say, well, them take him away, the gang is going to be dismantled, the JCF is telling you that that is furthest from the truth. When you think that it is bad, it could get worse. It could get from bad to worse. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, still continuing on the theme of crime and violence, we see that the criminals are out here. They are cold and callous. Just doing their job, that is what criminals do. We also see that our leaders are dazed and confused, and even worse. The persons that are tasked to serve and protect us, keep us safe, it seems as if they are lost in some sorts of bullish. Don't know what they are doing, they're dazed and confused also. Such is the case of your Justice or Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang. Now, we've seen several reports, especially in 2024, in which Indicom is saying that there is too much, a very concerning, alarming rate of extrajudicial takeaway by popo of members, mostly of the garrison. So why is it that when these popo go on special operation, they do not wear any sorts of body cam? People, this is what your Justice Minister had to say. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
When can we expect the enhanced security measures to be brought to Parliament? And Indicom recently raised concerns about police officers not wearing their body cameras in shooting incidents specifically. What is the ministry doing to address this?
Well, to come and begin at the back end. First of all, Indicom, many police officers wear cameras. You must face the fact. The primary benefit of cameras is in public order. So when police officers apprehend vendors on the street, people disposing of garbage, at events that might be too loud, and they seek to apprehend, they have to remove equipment or take away vendors, of which we are going to change in terms of how we deal with that. But those situations where cameras are valued, we have heard very little of anything of that sort, where policemen are seen brutalizing citizens. In a homicide situation, which is being emphasized by both some public interests and individuals, and it's their right to do so on Indicom, it's of very little value. If you get in combat with a camera on your chest, first of all, you're going to die because you're being shot at. And it has, the JDF has used them before in the helmets, and they proved quite invaluable because they fell off, they got knocked off, and they have very little value in those situations. So the first person we're equipping are the PSTB formation, which is deal with the public in public order. It is of very little value. You don't need to be an expert to understand it. Put a helmet, a camera on your chest, you start shooting at somebody. First they start shooting at you, you're going to die for cover. Policemen are not in. They have helmets and vests, but they are not designed to take shots. Honest and real before they respond. So that has been going in mind. But we take the comments from the Indicom. We examine them and the meeting with the leadership to discuss that. Enhanced security measures, well, look, we have many enhanced security measures over here.
Now, people, I don't know about you, but whenever I listen to this man, it seems as if I am watching some sorts of Cartoon Network. I am wondering to myself, who is he Fucking or sucking? Who does he have any sorts of secret for? Why it is he is given such a big position that he obviously cannot manage? Who is positioning him, backing him up? Because based on his qualifications or lack thereof, he should not be in this position. He has shown you many, many times that he has absolutely zero sense. The man is saying that the body cam is effective whenever you are going out there for vendors. So therefore, if the vendor them say a 500 potato me lose and it's only 3, they can always come back to the camera. However, whenever you go on any sorts of operation with the JSAF, it is a hindrance. It can drop off. It can cause you to get caught up behind it. People, what is the FUCK this man talking about? Don't you see, this is why Jamaica is in a whole heap of problem. The leader, the persons that are tasked, and also the criminals. Jamaica is pretty much FUCKED without any sorts of Vaseline, lubricant, point blank, and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next 2 channels. They are called Jamaica Dancehall Source and Crime Time News. I will be pinning the link to these channels in the description of this video. Bless up.